Hello, this is Nancy today. I am going to be making a formal video for you. Yes, now one of you has asked why I don't make cooking videos so much anymore. Well, it's because my house, the crumbs and the bits of things that are alongside where I'm cooking are not socially acceptable. So instead of cleaning it, I have just not been showing it to you. But today, I'm going to go and be with all the ladies who weave and spin. I'm going to weave a tea towel this morning, and then I'm going to spin with Anchoret's wool this afternoon. And so I thought I would take some cookies with me. So, I will now show you how I make cookies. I don't know what kind I'm making yet. I just know that I need to take something. So first, we will start with a bowl. Now this bowl has been previously used. You know, it's like those previously used cars. Well, this has had popcorn in it. So, clean it out a little bit. I should wipe it with a towel, right? Because I just breathed into it, and we wouldn't want anyone else to get some germs. That would be so unhealthy. We should have a very sterile environment. We should really sterilize our bodies several times a day. Do you realize that? You have bugs crawling on you. Yes, do you really want to go around with bugs on you? You also have bugs inside of you, in your stomach. You are a virtual farm. Yes, you are, like a manure pile. We won't talk about it. This is a very formal video. We will start with an ice cream container. Ice cream containers can be found in ice cream selling stores. All you have to do is find someone who will eat that much ice cream, and you can have your very own container. That's right. Now, the first thing we do is we get some butter or margarine. Oil will work too. Let's use oil. It's better for you. We'll come back over here. Now, we could use olive oil, but olive oil is very expensive. Cookies? Oh well, because you're here, and because this is a formal video, we will now get the olive oil. This is light tasting pure olive oil. You must use only this variety. No, nothing else will work. Okay, so now we'll come over here to our sterile environment. Let's see. Let's make our environment even more sterile. There. A work location. It's always important to have a proper location for work. Okay, so we're going to make a lot of cookies because, you know, once you start, you got to have a lot. Now, my recipe is as follows. 1 unit of oil to 1.5 to 2 units of sugar. So it doesn't matter what size your cup is or your hand. So we will start with 1 unit, which is twice as much. This is all my good olive oil. I'm using it up just for you. This is for people who don't happen to have margarine at the moment. They seem to be out of everything important. Now, if you want to have cookies, okay, that is my official 1 unit of oil. Would you like to see what this oil looks like in this bowl? Let me show you. Makes you hungry, doesn't it? Okay, so now we'll put our lid back on because this is a professional video and we need to do everything just right. So we'll put it on and we'll put it back over there in the corner. Now we need to get the sugar. Now a professional video will always have the sugar ready to put on. So here it comes. The sugar you've been waiting for. Now, if you use the same container for measuring, it is going to stick to the inside. Now, I always use brown sugar, but I make my own sugar. I use, this is empty. We have a little glitch in the professional video. Let's just check now for more molasses. Here we go. Unused, yes indeed. So if you want to measure your molasses, you could do that. And what you would do is you would put it into the cup that you had the oil in. You see, you would put it in. Now, since I don't measure, I have no idea how much I want. I'll just use some. I just want to turn my sugar brown. That's all I want to do. So here, you can come closer. Come over here. Yes, indeed. And you can get a good view of exactly what's happening in this professional video. Okay, so now when you do that, look at what happens. It comes out of the bowl. Do you remember that Kentucky Fried Chicken or Southern Fried Chicken commercial? And they boil the chicken in oil and then they measure the oil afterward and it only used 1 teaspoon or something. See how this works? It all comes right out. Okay, so come on, get out, would you? Okay, we're done with waiting for that to get out. Oh, I'm sorry. Now we will add 1.5 to 2 measures. Okay, so this was 1 measure right there. So this will be 1.5 measures, right? We'll put 1.5 measures in there. Now look at how it sticks to the cup. So if you're ever in need of having it sticking to the cup because you food storage, you want to save it for later, you can do that. But look, if you use one of these, it comes right out. Now if you leave your spatula in oil, it will disintegrate because oil eats rubber. Okay, so now there we go. We've got our oil and we've got our sugar, and we're going to make it into brown sugar, which is precisely why we've got all this molasses in there. Now look at this magical thing that happens. Oh, look, it's turning the sugar brown. Look, I now have brown sugar, exactly like the brown sugar in the store. If you want to get something that is not brown sugar but is almost as good as the before sugar, that's called raw sugar. There we go. Now you see how the oil and the sugar are not mixing? Well, we come to a point in our video where we need to use something that they use in chemistry. We have a substance like oil and water don't mix. Well, you know how you can mix them? You add an egg. Here, oh, the oven is ready. Now here we have eggs. They come in containers like this. See how many you get at once? These are spotless white. They must be the best, right? Because they're white. White sugar, white flour, and spotless white eggs. Yes, indeed, you are going to have the very best money can buy. Okay, so in order to emulsify this, to mix them together, did you know something else about eggs? In Germany, they do not refrigerate their eggs. They leave them on the counter in a little basket. Eggs do not need to be refrigerated. They will last a long time anyway. And if you want to try an experiment, you could take a dozen eggs, you could leave them on the counter, and you could open 1 egg every day. And at the end of 12 days, you will find that your 12th egg is as good as your first egg. Okay, so here we go. Now, see how the oil has separated? Well, let's just crack open an egg. Now, we are going to need 1 egg for every half a cup. So, since I haven't a clue how much this was, I'm going to use wait a minute, that was 3/4 and 3/4 is 1 1/2. So I would need 3 eggs to emulsify that if I were using hydrogenated or butter. But 3 eggs is not going to be quite enough to emulsify this oil. So let's increase our egg amount so that it will. We have here part 2, Cooking with Nancy. This is a professional video. I have everything just so. So, here we have been mixing now. You're going to have to see the first part to know what's happening. I'm not going to rehearse everything because it's not fair to those who have seen the first part. They don't want to see the first part again. You go watch the first part if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, so now we have added 3 eggs to emulsify this mixture. You could probably even use another egg if you wished, because as I said before, which you remember, which I won't repeat. Hey, stop looking at my feet. It's a professional video. Okay. So we're adding 4 to emulsify it very well. So the oil and the sugar stay perfectly together. Okay, and now we are going to add our dry ingredients. Now dry doesn't include your sugar, we already did that. So our flour, we're going to use white flour because white sugar, white flour, and white eggs must be the best, right? Just like your clean clothes, only if they're white are they perfect. So, we will start with a pile of flour. Now, it usually takes about a cup of flour to every half a cup of margarine and sugar and, and 1 egg. If you used a half a cup of margarine, half a cup of sugar, and 1 egg, you would need about a cup of flour for that. So we used a cup and a half of each of them, or a little more. So it's going to take what? 3 cups. You are so on the ball. 3 cups of flour. Well, let's just dump our flour in, shall we? Now this is a 3-cup measuring. Uh-oh, my batteries are going to go. Oops, we don't want that one. We have a bigger one in here already. Let's see if we can pull this over here. Okay, so we'll put 1, 2, 3. Now, if you are making a cake, you could turn this into a cake now. If you added water and baking powder, you could have a cake. But if you want cookies, you need to use baking soda. You see? Arm & Hammer baking soda. It's the best there is. And it is white also. Because we all know that white is good. White means pure. Now it usually takes about a half a teaspoon of baking powder for each cup. Or so. But you don't want too much. So I'm going to use about that much baking soda. And now, because you also don't want it to, see, I'm going to sprinkle it around, but you want to get rid of your little lumps, because lumps in your mouth when you're eating cookies is not good. Okay, so now we want to just mix the top stuff. So we'll do that. Now, what do we want to put in this? Well, this is where we get creative. We can put in cinnamon. And cinnamon, it takes a lot. So you can use a lot of cinnamon. And how about some ginger? Ooh, now don't confuse ginger with mustard. They look just the same. Here it is. See, here is the ginger. And here is the mustard. Really, and even if you taste them, it's kind of curious. You kind of really can't tell them apart so much. So you have to label it so you don't get it mixed up with your other one. Get your nose out of my ginger. Okay, so then we cannot use as much ginger as cinnamon. We can use about half as much, okay? Because it's a little too strong. Now, what else have we got in here? I got nutmeg the other day. Where did it go? I don't think I put it away yet. Why, look at here. Ground nutmeg. I know, just a minute. Just hold your horses. Oops, this is a professional video. We have here nutmeg. Now you must have exactly the amount I tell you, or else it will not taste exactly like mine. Come on, open up. Ha ha ha! Let her loose. You see, this situation would not have been helped by a cleaner kitchen. So much for the perfect thing. Let's do it the regular way, shall we? Okay, now when you use nutmeg, you can use about as much nutmeg as you use ginger. Okay? And you could put in other things, but I'm getting kind of tired of doing this now, so that's going to be what it's going to be. So now we will stir it around. We'll mix up the flour and powders first, which are on the top. You see how careful I am not to get any of the other stuff mixed in? You see, we're just mixing them first. Okay. And then we just go right down to the bottom, and we're going to make a big mess in our whisk. We are, and then somebody's going to have to lick the whisk. That's right. It's a good time to have children on board. Now, we are actually touching this with our hands. There are eggs in it. We could poison ourselves, say those people on the preventative measures places. But really, it's not going to happen. It won't. You can eat this. I have been eating this and feeding it to my children for years and years and years, and nobody has died yet. Or even gotten sick. Okay, now we will change to a handy-dandy wooden spoon. Now reach it into those corners. You don't want to leave it in those corners. No siree. Okay. Now this has a slightly different texture than it would had I used margarine. But this is done with oil. Now you know what you can also add here? You could add chocolate. Would you like to have chocolate? Ha 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 ha. I should have added it to the powder. But I can't be perfect. This is cinnamon. Cinnamon. This one is I can't tell. I think that's cinnamon too. Okay, forget it. I'm not going to do that. It's up here in the chocolate container. The cacao. Premium cacao. Now, I should have really done it, added it to the flour. But it's going to work here too. We'll just add some. I don't know how much. I just sprinkled some on, and some can be a lot or a little. And we're going to stir it in, and stir and stir and stir and stir. You know what? This could turn into brownies right now. Oh my gosh. Actually, if I cooked it right now, it probably would be brownies. Except, I think there's something a little different about brownies. I think you use less oil, or less sugar, or less flour. I don't remember. Look it up. Okay, let's put in some oatmeal, shall we? Okay, let's go over here and get some oatmeal. My battery light is on, so time is limited. Okay. So here we are, some nice healthy oatmeal. Any kind of oatmeal is the same. Do not be concerned. Now you just put enough in that it's going to be really tight. Oats grow in fields. Quaker does not grow different kinds of oats than the no-name oats. Oats grow in a field. They come from oat seeds, which are oats. The only difference is the way they are rolled up. Now these are 1 minute oats. So these cook in 1 minute, but that won't matter because I'm not boiling them. Let's add more oats. We are going to make these cookies so healthy. All those white things in there, white flour, white sugar, white eggs, white baking powder, and now off-white oatmeal. That goes with the bran molasses. Okay, I'm getting kind of tired of stirring, so it must be ready now. What do you think? Still looks a little shiny. I think I should add some more something flour. But don't take my word for it. Okay. Yeah, it needs a little more flour. Or we could put in a little more oats. But we'll just go with a little more flour. Now, I don't know the definition of a little more. This is what I think is a little more. I want it to sort of dry up a bit. Has anybody ever told you to dry up? That's what they used to say when I was young. Oh, dry up. Now they say get a life. Used to say shut up, but that became a very bad word. Never to say shut up. Never. Or shut your trap. Those were bad. And then, okay, so here we have, this looks better. See, it's not quite so shiny. This is going to make a better cookie. Now, we put cookies on here, and we touch it with our fingers because we like germs. Yes, indeed. Germs keep us healthy. If you don't have any germs, you will not be immune to anything. Your body needs germs to survive in this germ-filled world. If you deprive it of germs, you will get sick whenever germs show up. Think, oh my gosh, look at that, a germ! So do not be alarmed. You may go to your blogs and you may talk about how Nancy today has used her fingers and used raw eggs, which she touched. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there we have it. And in the oven they go. And I'm not going to show you what they look like afterwards. It's a secret. Bye. Well, hello, it's Nancy today. Did you like that professional cooking video? Yes, indeed. I made cookies. And I'm making some more. Actually, it's the same ones. I'm just cooking them. I'm using my old camera, which has decided to work for a few more minutes. I like my old camera best. I think I should probably just take everything back and only have get an older one like my old camera. But then I can't show you all those details about frogs and birds and things. So I won't. I'll just carry on. So how's your day been going? It's really cold and rainy outside. It's not nice. 7 degrees Celsius or something. It's too cold for me. I'd rather have it -20 than rainy and 7. Rainy and 7 is humid and damp. It goes right through you, right through all your clothes to your bones, right through your skin. I would rather have it nice and cold. And also, I'd like to have it nice and cold so I didn't have to see what I have to do outside. Snow covers a multitude of sins. You know that? It does. Well, I've been working away at the dishes. See? shiny dishes. Done with my shiny dishes soap. But there's always more to do. The dishes are never done. Especially in my house. It would help if I did them more often. If I did them more often, then they would be done. So I'll just do them while you're there. Oh, you're looking at my shoulder. Yes, you like that shoulder? Many children have cried on that shoulder. Right. Been comforted at that shoulder. That's right. There's history here. Real, actual, living history. That shoulder has bumped other shoulders in dances. That shoulder has been worked very hard, lifting things, creating all these monstrosities that I like to create outside. Too bad the snow is gone. Everything is showing up now. I have to go out there, and I don't have my rake. I had a rake the other day. I got a new rake. Okay, you're too close to it. Let's just move it away like this. Okay? Now we can see each other. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, there's that lid I lost. I got a rake the other day and then I lost it. So it's gone. I don't know how I lost it because it was right there. And then when I needed it, a few minutes later, it was not there anymore. And it's gone. The only thing I can think of is that it was buried when the wood pile. When the wood came, it must be buried under the wood pile. That's the only explanation. That's my explanation. I'm sticking to it. So that's good. I made some cookies. I've done nothing else. Well, I did go for a little walk. And I made SP, LP, and XP videos. And now I'm trying to deal with them, convert them to AVI and see what they look like. But they won't get uploaded for a couple days. Hey, Lost was on last night, wasn't it? I could see Lost on my CTV on the internet. If you live in the United States, you can watch it on abc.com. But they won't let us because we're not there, we're here. So I can see it on CTV, which is just as good. Okay, I'm finished with this. I'm getting tired of washing dishes. Okay, what am I going to do now? I guess I should put the rest of these cookies on a cookie tray. And have them ready to go into the oven. How'd you get way down there? Rise up. That's right. Hello. Yes, indeed. Now, I'm supposed to be helping everybody to have a wonderful day. That's right. I'm supposed to be making everybody happy and smiling. If you're miserable, if you're totally miserable today, the best thing you can do is probably to pretend you're not miserable and try to see if you can make somebody else smile. Because if you're miserable, it's likely other people are miserable too, especially if it's a rainy day. Do you ever see the faces of people on a rainy day? Look at everybody. Everybody's miserable. Those poor clerks in the grocery store have to deal with miserable people all day. And so you could go in there and you could sympathize with her. Empathize. You could thighs with her. You could let her know that you know just what it's like. And she'll tell you, if you ask her, that there are more miserable people on a rainy day. Less. And if you wear your flowery hat, it's bound to make somebody smile. And then you could mention even that you're watering the flowers, or they're enjoying the rain. If you put a little duck on your hat, well, then you could say that the duck loves. It's a great weather for ducks. Oh yes, great weather for ducks. Okay, I'm ready now. I have to go dump the compost. But you know, I only do the dishes until I get tired of doing the dishes. And then I stop and I do something else. Bye.